Hello, and welcome back for another episode of the Resting Stitch Face podcast. I'm your co-host, Dr. Sarah Harding, along with
Dr. Erin Sheffield.
Hola.
So today's episode is brought to you by Google because even in our 40s, it's the only thing keeping us from looking like dum-dums sometimes, right?
Well, that's how we roll.
So I
Sometimes
wanted
you need
to
a little
talk
help.
today about some confessions, things that as 40-plus-year-old surgeons, we still kind of embarrassingly don't understand or know. So
There's a lot, as it turns
there's a
out.
lot. Yes. And I was like in high school when people would use slang terms usually for inappropriate things, and you don't have any idea what they're talking about, but also you don't want to ask because you know it's going to be like super embarrassing. And
Yeah.
thankfully now we have the internet.
Yeah, you don't have to go to the
how
Dewey
you
Decimal System in the
feel
card catalog.
sometimes. So the first one for me, anytime we're at like a shareholder meeting for the corporation and they're talking about EBITDA, I'm just like,
Yes.
and even when they tell me what it means, I'm still just like, what?
Was that English?
Wait, budget something
What?
and into, but I literally cannot remember what it stands for.
I know.
It has to do with like money coming in and out, but
Yeah.
it's
I'll
a
tell
good
you
thing
a
I'm not
thing
a
that made me
business
feel better about
person.
that was that when I was talking to the dentist that used to own the dental practice that I go to get my teeth cleaned and stuff, he had brought on a younger guy and then eventually sold to him. But he was telling me about how he was really excited to have him there because he was really in the know about the business stuff. And he talked about this EBITDA. And the older dentist, who just retired last year, was like, I've never paid attention to that. I don't even know what that is. And I was like, yes. All right. Well, that makes two of us, bro.
So not just me. That's good.
Yeah. There's some encouragement for you. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes. What about you? Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, a lot of thoughts. Business wise, there's so much that I don't understand. So, having started this little S corporation in California, it is shocking to me that so many people have businesses and that they don't go to jail because there's like so much random crap that you're supposed to know about. And I'm like, I had no idea. And I keep getting like nasty grams and stuff. And I'm like, gosh, there's like 75 deadlines throughout the year. I'm like, I don't even make any money. What are you doing? And so, yes, that's what I don't understand. Taxes and
There's
small businesses and how in the world people like sell jewelry and have a small business and don't just lose their minds. That's all.
I've started my small business and I feel like a complete dum-dum. Like someone the other day was talking about, yeah, and your business insurance. And I was like, is my business supposed to have insurance? Is that for all businesses? What kind of business are we talking about?
I know. I'm like, I know that as a practice owner, like with a building and things, you have that.
Right.
Because I think you can't secure a lease without business insurance, but I don't. And what are they insuring?
I don't know. I don't know either.
Speaking of
If
things we
anyone
don't
can help
understand,
us, please tell us. Please come save the day before we need the insurance
yes.
for
Because
whatever
speaking of insurance,
we don't know that we need it
malpractice.
for.
I don't understand. I don't understand it because it's like they say, okay, you have to get malpractice. And then if you practice in a private practice, it's this rate. But if you practice in a corporate practice, it's going to be this rate. And I guess I get that, right? Because like the likelihood you're going to be sued is probably a little bit more in a corporate place. But then now that I'm trying to get this malpractice stuff covered in Illinois, it's a whole other thing. It's a whole other thing. And I'm sorry, we can't even, as a nationwide company that covers you and your malpractice, we can't do that. So I've talked to this other person. I don't understand. Like they can't.
Illinois is like the worst. Is
But
that why?
But they still have coverage there. I don't understand. But that's kind of like me saying, okay, well, I'm going to drive to Arizona, and then my car insurance company being like, okay, great. Well, you're going to have to get additional insurance so that you can cross the state lines and drive there. Why? I don't know.
I don't know. That sounds
So there,
weird.
that's what I don't understand. You're welcome.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about folding a fitted sheet? Can you
I'm
do
good
that?
at it. Yep.
You are?
Yep.
Of
Yep.
course you are. I've just watched videos and I'm like, "I got this." And I'll, like, get the corners and all the corners, like, layering, and then even if I feel like I did it right, it's still just like a gobbledygook, mushy mesh of sheet. It never looks like anything but a pile.
It's so funny. Mine never turns out exactly the same, but
What's
it's
the
usually
trick?
I don't know.
Is
I
there a
just
trick?
I don't know. I do the corners and then I get
Like,
it nicely situated
I'm
and then I
pretty
fold
good
it
at
into
visual
fourths and then into
spatial,
fourths.
3D orientation of things, etcetera. Thank you, dental school, but, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I do it right, and it's still just crappy.
How'd you do on the perceptual ability test on your DAT?
Did pretty well.
Do you remember what your score was?
I don't know. Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah? What was it?
I think I got a 1822. So my perceptual ability is far more outstanding than my academic abilities.
1822? What
Yeah.
does 1822 mean?
Well, 18 was the academic part. 22 was the perceptual ability part.
You're saying, like, your total score and then that score?
Yeah, that's how they scored it.
I don't remember that. I feel
Clearly,
like
it was a defining
21
moment in
sticking
my
out in my
life.
brain, but I don't remember.
Yeah, that was
I
my
think I'm
favorite part.
better now.
If I could take that every, like, 6 months, I'd be like, "Yeah, let's do it.
I think
Let's
if I
go."
did it now, I'd be better. Yeah, for sure.
Probably.
Like doing Legos,
Mhm.
people are like, "I don't understand what that is, and I can't see that backside," and I'm like, "That's okay."
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
IKEA used to be terrible, now it's like,
yeah.
got it,
I've always loved that stuff. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah, I
dental
do feel like I
school.
got a lot better with that stuff after dental school. Like, I think I never thought of myself as much of an artist before dental school, and then after dental school, I think I just saw things differently. I don't know. And I'm really good at woodworking now too,
You are?
because yeah,
You're,
like
like,
building
building
people's
stuff?
faces back, and now I'm like, "Oh, these are all the same tools, they're just bigger."
And cheaper.
Yeah,
A lot
a whole
cheaper.
lot cheaper. Yeah.
I remember in dental school, we had a lecture on distraction, and the professor was like a big wig in developing distraction techniques, and the whole lecture was, "And this is a screwdriver that I developed that it's like a $500 screwdriver, and here's another one, and that one's like $600, and can you imagine how much cheaper it'd be if we could just go to the hardware store?" Like, the whole lecture.
Yep.
That's another thing I don't understand is the upcharge on everything
Every
in
single
medicine.
thing. Every single thing. It's insane. Yeah, it's insane.
Like,
I don't
sometimes you can
understand it.
order it off of Amazon, and it'll be, like, a tenth of the price for the
Right.
same thing.
Yeah. Even, like, I used to get my whitening, like, syringes from Amazon because it was a whole lot cheaper to do that, and it was coming
Yeah.
from the same company. Here's another one for you. Why is it that when I order something from Amazon and it's shipped by XYZ company and it takes 2 days, but if I go to XYZ company's website and I order it from them, it takes 2 weeks?
And you have to
I don't
pay
understand.
for shipping.
I don't
I don't
understand.
know, it's sitting in a warehouse at Amazon just waiting to be shipped out for on the cheap.
Maybe.
How do they ship everything on the cheap? Like, how come I can send you your shirt that I got from Mexico and it's gonna cost me $30, but Amazon can send me a couch and a kitchen for free? How? I don't understand.
I don't either. I don't either. Nope.
Subsidies or something, clearly.
Yeah.
My
Sounds like
Amazon
California to me.
Prime is paying for it.
Yeah. Why do I have to pay, like, massive amounts of property taxes here, and I still have to drive up a dirt road to get to my house that's a publicly maintained road? I don't know. I don't know.
Who knows,
I don't know.
California? Why do we live
Mm,
in the 2 worst run states
well,
in
2 of the
the
3 anyway.
country?
Yeah. Yeah. I was telling my stepdaughter this weekend, we went to Wyoming, and I'm not supposed to tell anybody that we went to Wyoming. We're supposed to say we went to Fort Collins. That way nobody knows how wonderful Wyoming is. So, anyway,
Oh,
in
yes.
Fort Collins, I was telling her that every time I travel outside of California, it makes me realize how much I hate California. And she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "I don't know. I can't explain it. It's like there's like all of this input that comes, and it just makes me like, I hate California more." Because you're like, Why is it that I'm in the middle of the country where it takes a lot more effort to get goods and services out here, but, like, gas is $2 a gallon cheaper? Like, what? I don't understand.
'Cause you
And
live in
everybody's,
San
like, nice to you
Diego.
and happy to help, and I don't know. There you go. I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
and then we went to the rodeo, and, you buy a rodeo ticket, right? But parking is free, and there's, like, all these nice people helping you park and get you in and all this stuff, but here, I can go to one of the local parks, like a county park, and I have to pay for parking.
That's the cost of living in a place where people want to live, and there's lots of you. When you live in the middle of nowhere, there's plenty of parking.
I know, but shocking, there was, like, so many people at the parks there and using the facilities, like the little, you know, what do you call it? Like the covered area?
It's like the porta potty.
No, no, like the little pavilion, there we go.
Pavilion, okay, that's
Yes,
better than a
like,
porta potty.
there was, like, always people using it, the playgrounds were really nice, they weren't all decrepit and janky like a lot of times they are here. They didn't have, like, I don't know, hypodermic needles sticking out of the ground every 5 feet there.
No. Ugh. I mean, flyover states, they're maybe not so bad.
Yeah, see?
You're gonna come to Quincy and be like, "Oh my gosh, I love it here. I want to move
Yeah,
here."
yeah, except that I'll probably not get there until the winter time, and then I'll be like,
No,
"Oh, why
then
is it so cold?"
you'll be a popsicle for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
A popsicle.
That's true.
Yeah, yep. Alright, what other, 40-year-old things are you, surprised about?
I don't know how to keep my house clean.
That's because we have kids.
Yeah, but, like, I tell myself that, but I don't know that my house is that clean before I had kids, and parts of my house, like my bedroom, that are my responsibility are still not very clean, and I know that because I take pictures in my mirror of my progress, my workout progress, and they are identical. There's always a stack of clothes on the chair, and the bed is usually not made, and it
See,
doesn't
that's
matter
one
if that
thing
was
that I
3
do
years
every day.
ago
I
or
make the
me.
bed. Gotta make the bed every
Well,
day.
hello, military.
Well, yeah. Not sure I was always really good at it, but it does. It starts out my day nice, and then I'm like, "Oh, okay, at least that's put together. Everything else can fall to hell, but that's at least put together."
I don't know, I'm terrible, and people will be like, "Pay a house cleaner." And I'm like, "I pay way too much for a cleaner
Mhm,
to come every week."
mhm.
And it's nice for, like, an hour.
Right. My house used to be so clean before kids. Like, that's my OCD, though. Had to give up on that, which really sucks because now it's like I'm, like, nervous when people come over because 'cause I'm like, "Oh god, they're gonna see all of the clutter and the mess and the." Right now, there's an obstacle course around my house
Mm.
made up of things that are actually supposed to be used for, like, little kid things, and then there wasn't enough of those to go around, and so I put books as the other stepping stones, so now we got.
Yes, of
Mhm.
course, as
Yeah,
you would.
yeah,
Yeah. We have,
because
a stair slide that's been out for probably at least 2 or 3 weeks that no one's really sliding on much, but it's still there, 'cause just in case. And when you're like, "Can we clean this up?" They're like, "I was using it."
Yeah,
Were you? Were
right.
you? Plus, that's how I broke my tailbone, was trying to be the fun mom doing the stair slide,
Mm.
and
When did that
that was
happen? I don't.
treacherous. That was probably 3 years ago, maybe?
Well, you had a rough go with that, right?
I know, right?
Mhm,
Yeah, like, December is my month of breaking small bones in your body. If you're wanting to improve your conversation skills and you need something to talk about and you don't know what, I will tell you, breaking your tailbone is fabulous for that because you carry a donut around
mhm.
and everyone wants to know why you're carrying a donut around. And then you get to talk about your butt with every single person you meet for
You would be the hit amongst 6 and 7-year-olds.
for probably 3 to 6 months, depending on how well you heal. So everyone, it's like my pastor is talking to me about my butt, and my patients are talking to
Mm,
me about my butt, like
see?
everyone. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Well,
kind of
speaking of butts and
embarrassing.
things, yeah, things I don't understand. I didn't realize until you and Ellie were talking about these plastic surgery sites, like that this Brazilian butt lift thing was such a thing. Like I'd heard of it before, but that people actually do it. And how do they sit down?
When you're healing,
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought you're not supposed to, but then don't you usually pair it with, like, a boob job, so then you probably don't wanna be on your
Yeah.
stomach,
What do you do?
so I don't know.
Because you also, if you get your boobs up, it's like hard to raise your arms up. So then you're on like a,
Mhm, and if
you
you
get
have a
like a,
tummy tuck, you're supposed to be in a jackknife position, partially bent, so if you do, like, the full maybe
gosh.
they don't do it together, maybe you have to do it separate. That seems really uncomfortable sitting right
Yeah.
on your scar.
Yeah. And then do you think that your proprioception is like totally off? So you like aren't expecting your butt to hit so soon when you sit down in a chair, and then all of a sudden you're
Ugh,
like, "Whoa, I'm already in the chair," you know? Or kind of like when you sit on a toilet that you think is gonna be higher and it's lower and you're like you think you're falling, right?
wow.
Maybe it's like the opposite of that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
What do you think?
And do you feel is it like sitting on water balloons and you're kinda like,
Yeah,
"Whoa," because like, at least if you have a boob job,
like a
you're not, like,
waterbed.
doing those your boobs aren't, like, doing anything outside of feeding babies, like, they're not holding your weight
No,
up.
yeah.
I don't know.
Although when I lay on my stomach now, the right one's just wonky. I don't know what happened with this redo, but, like, it feels like I'm like this, like, it just, like, maybe
Weird.
it's sticks out farther. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't, so that's kind of what I'm imagining with this Brazilian butt lift
Yeah,
thing.
or maybe they, like, go out instead of in, and then you're, like, settling
Mm,
into your that sounds weird. We need someone who's had one done. Do
yeah.
we know any I don't know anyone who's had one done. If they have, it's very subtle, and I haven't learned about it, but if anyone has,
Or I've just
please
always
let's talk
assumed that
about
they just have a
this.
big butt. Like, I truly have just assumed that because I didn't realize it was such a prolific thing that this many people did. I had no idea.
I have no idea. I've never met anyone that's had one done, so please, the people I know that are hiding out, not telling us, please tell us because
Yeah.
we need the answers. Because I know my assistant was telling me about some of this stuff, and I can't remember what it was, but I was, like, horrified, like, "What do you mean? Huh, what? You had to lay on your stomach for 6 weeks or something?" I don't know, it was
Yeah.
crazy. Oh my gosh. Ugh, and then you have to wonder if you got, like, the real deal or if you got the silicone concrete injections, it seems like that's, like, a real thing too.
I thought they did it with fat. Oh my gosh. I have so much to learn.
Well,
I have
like,
no
the real
idea.
people do, but if you go to, like, Miami and get some hack job
Oh, in somebody's garage. I have read articles about that. But why
I
would you go to
know.
somebody's garage anyway? Like, you think that's gonna turn out well
You
for you?
need when you can't afford the hospital, you do what you gotta do. But even then, I was reading something that, like,
Yeah, they still
mortality
charge them
rate
a
is
boatload
so
of money.
high on
Really?
that. It was like I feel like someone was saying 1 in 3,000 or something. I was like, "Ooh,
And
that's
that, yeah.
kind of too much for me." Just sticking with this
And also, why is it
American
that the
booty.
oral surgeons are like the hated people? Like, we're taking out your wisdom teeth in order to decrease your inflammatory load and make you healthier. And we have a much better success rate. And meanwhile, you're over here like giving people bigger butts and you have a 1 in 3,000 mortality rate. Like, why aren't we talking about that more?
I know.
Hmm.
I
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Huh. How do I clean my house? How do I keep my house clean? What's the
Start by
strategy?
making your bed. Yep. Make your bed every day. And then you're going to be like, oh, that is really nice. Yep. That's really nice. And then you'll be more willing to maybe not leave other things out. Maybe you'll be more, I don't know, or move the chair. Don't put a chair there so you can't put clothes on it. Maybe move the chair somewhere else, right? I don't know.
Okay, when you come, you tell me where to move the chair.
Oh, girl, I will. I'll reorganize your whole house. That's my jam.
I'm
My sister
worried
used to
about
call
you
me the inventory
coming.
specialist.
I'm worried about you coming because you're gonna be like,
No,
"I,
I
like,
won't.
didn't know this was who you are," or maybe you do.
Mm-mm. I won't be that way. No, it's my time to shine. It
Your
makes me feel
time to
needed.
shine.
Yeah, gives me
As long as
purpose,
it's
makes
done
me
with
feel
0
needed.
judgment, it sounds great.
There is zero judgment. Listen, you're working way more than I am, and my house isn't clean either. So, hey,
I mean, sometimes definition of clean, there's, like, a big I don't think just to be clear, I don't think I'm I don't think your house is dirty. I think there's a difference between messy and
Yeah,
dirty.
like cluttery, yeah.
Every once in a while, we verge on the dirty, and I'm like, "Why are we so dirty? This is disgusting. What are you guys doing?" But
I live
most
on a
of the
farm,
time
Erin. Just remember that. Just remember that I
most
live
of the
on a
time,
farm.
there's not, like, disgusting stuff around unless the freezer just went out and we're still trying to get it cleaned up, but most of the time yeah. Other thing I don't know how to do in my 40s is my makeup and my hair.
This curling iron thing that I just got that I forget what it's called, but the one from Amazon, it has changed my life because it
Is it
actually
like
makes it look like I, like, worked hard at
does
it,
it,
and it
like,
only took me,
suck
like,
it up and
7
in?
minutes. Yeah, it's got, like, a barrel, and it, like,
Mm,
sucks it up and spins it around, and it takes literally, like, less than 10 minutes, maybe 7 minutes, and it lasts all day. It's incredible.
that's
Makeup is something that I
incredible.
never learned how to do, and it drives me crazy because I'm like, I wish that I knew how to do makeup, but then I'm also like, I don't really wanna do that because it's really expensive. It takes so much time. And yes, I might look a little nicer, but the amount of times that I get dressed up in a way that I need to have, like, a full face of makeup, I think is so little, and then you end up throwing away all the makeup, and then it was kinda stupid. And when I've had my makeup done, for, like, a wedding or something, it feels like, once again, like, there's a mask on my face, and I'm feel like, yeah,
I hate
like I
that.
can't and then when you look real close, you can, like, see it. It's
And your kid
like
gives you a hug, and then they've got makeup on their shirt and stuff. I
yeah,
hate that. Luckily, my skin I'm wearing a little mascara today, but luckily my skin is usually really nice, and I don't have to put anything on my skin. Just try to
yeah.
do a little, like, eye makeup, but
Mine's gotten to be there somehow. Now it's just all falling down. Now I just look these I've got
but
saddlebags
why
under
are
my
all the makeup
chin.
tutorials for people who don't have hooded eyes when it seems like
It's
almost
it's
everyone, if you look at them, has hooded eyes? Like,
it's so true.
I feel like hooded eyes are probably more common than not hooded eyes. Am I wrong? I don't know, but they act like this is the way you do makeup. Unless you're that weirdo, that really strange, unusual weirdo that happens to have hooded eyes, then you're just stuck on your own.
Yeah. I don't know, but I do feel like a lot of people had it. I mean, I have them, you
I
have them.
know.
Like, I feel like it is a lot more common than we give credit for, but then the people that do all the makeup tutorials don't have that, and so then you're like, "Well, that's not helpful, thank you."
Maybe that's why they think they're good at makeup 'cause it looks
Right.
good on them.
Yeah. That's fair.
That must be it. We're just doomed, so not even worth trying.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Or I can't because my eyes are so hooded.
I should probably also get filler in my lips too. I have, like, the smallest lips, but I'm, like, freaked out by filler.
I am too, especially in the lips. But, Brooke Stubbs was posting this thing about the lip lays.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like that seems more appealing to me than lip filler
Mhm. I was thinking
just
that too.
because
I was like, "Should I go visit her and laser my lips and because 'cause they're so small, but still
I know too.
beautiful.
No, well, we
They're
can't have it
still
all.
okay, I mean, yeah. I mean, how smart and hilarious and beautiful can 2 women be?
Right. Yeah. What
We
else
gotta
do you need from
leave
us? What
we have
else do
to
you need from
leave
us?
a little bit for the little people.
You know?
Otherwise, this podcast would be so unrelatable. No one would listen. It'd be
Right.
aspirational for a while, and then it would just be depressing.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Yeah.
here's the biggest thing I don't understand in my 40s,
Okay.
and this is serious. Why are people so mean? Like, I really don't understand. I try so hard to be as nice as possible, and it doesn't mean
Mhm.
I'm always successful. But it seems like there are people that just choose to be mean or are just by
Do
default mean.
Now are you talking in real life or online?
Either.
Okay, because I feel like people are mean online because they think that they're anonymous and they can get away with it, and it's real easy to be a keyboard ninja
Yeah, for
that's mean,
sure.
right? Because there's not, like, immediate consequences. I find that in real life, there's some mean people, but it's way fewer and far between
Yeah.
because, you know, if somebody's mean to you and you're like, "Did you just say this?" And then they're like, "Yes, that." It's not nice.
Mm.
I think that our perception has changed, but, I think that also people are now more entitled too, and they want everything to be on their timeline and their schedule, and so when it's not or I think people have a loss of feeling of control, and so then they take it out on you, which is a lot like how I feel trying to get my license in Illinois in my malpractice. But I've still managed to continue to be nice, but I'm like, I don't know how much longer I can be nice for because if I'm paying you money, you should probably do a job, it's
You should probably do a job.
yeah. I'm gonna start just charging people for wisdom teeth and then just being like, "We'll schedule you someday. Thank you for your money."
We
I
can't
think
tell
that's
you when,
right.
but, I mean,
It'll probably get done.
eventually.
Yeah. But if it doesn't get done, then, I'm gonna keep your money, but also I'm gonna charge you extra money to get out of the contract,
Well,
just in
and
case.
then they will probably it doesn't matter. When you apply for your contract, they have everyone's on the same schedule, I think, in this state for the licensure. So if you paid on August 1st and then everyone has to pay again, like August 31st, I feel like they're just like, pay again.
Mhm. Yeah.
That doesn't seem fair. And
No.
then they can take as long as they want, and this is your life and your livelihood on the line. You can't work and make money and pay your bills until they do. But the second they come to audit you or have a question for you,
Uh-huh. You better answer
you
right
got a
away.
strict guideline and you
Yeah.
better respond by this time. And it doesn't go both ways. It seems unfair.
Where life is hard.
Life is hard
It
sometimes.
is
You're
hard.
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But that's the other thing. I think that it's really interesting, and a reason why I think I've always said that I would pay for my kids to go to trade school, but they're on their own for college, because there's so many tradespeople that you can't get them to show up. And if they show up, they're kind of like, "Well, I'll show up when I want," or however, and everything is it's so difficult. And so if you are a person that is a tradesperson and you can just show up and be a nice
Yeah,
person, like
between 9 and 7, and then at 6:45, if you don't come, you just say, "Oh, sorry, I'll be there tomorrow between
yeah,
3 and 6," or something.
yeah, yeah.
Speaking of which, we've had water in the basement because there's tree branches going into the roots, excuse me, going
I was
into
like,
the sewer
"Branches?"
lines, sewer lines, and there's maybe like a bad kink going around. And so we keep getting water, and we thought it was from rain. Then we thought it was from a leaky pipe. Then we thought it was from the dehumidifier spilling over.
Or the
And then we
freezer dying.
finally, well, and then we finally got them to come and they like, oh, it's a sewer. And so you're like, ew, gross sewer
Yeah.
water coming back in. And then we're gonna have to rip up the driveway to get under it to the pipes, and so we're still waiting on that weeks later because 'cause they're
Oh
behind.
my gosh.
And then in the meantime, more water, so we thought, "Oh, darn, it's coming back again." But then the freezer went out, so then all the sludge water was probably just nasty melted freezer sludge. Anyway, so we're waiting on that, and then we've had this leak in the house, and we're trying to get our house re-sided and a bunch of stuff done, and it's been like a year and a half, almost 2 years
Oh my
trying to get that
gosh.
done. So we're finally and so the builder came in. I thought he took care of it. I was like, "Yay, it hasn't happened because 'cause we're getting, like, huge puddles of water in the bathroom and then leaking down to the next level, like catching buckets worth of
Oh
water."
my gosh.
And so I was like, "You guys fixed that?" And he's like, "No." This was like last week. "You didn't? Because it seems like it stopped." And we're like, "Well, that's good. Okay." And then we were watching TV the other night and it was raining. I was like, "Is it raining?" "Yeah, it's raining." And then it just sounds weird. Sounds like it's raining inside.
Mm.
And then I'm looking over at the blinds. Is that a weird shadow on the blinds or are the blinds wet? And I go over and it's just like dripping. And so I'm getting like a bowl underneath and it fills up with inches of water. And so we're like trying to hang we've got this
Yeah.
historic home. Everything's
Yeah.
wood. We've got these 130-year-old irreplaceable windows that it's like
Same.
dripping around the
Yep.
window and
Yeah.
the plaster's falling down, and it's just like, "Oh my gosh, please fix the rain in the house and the poop in the basement. Can we
Yeah,
please? Can someone show up?" They
yeah.
cannot.
My house is, like, not 130 years old, it's really, like, 30 years old, and but it's like a Spanish style house, and they built it, like, in the
Mm,
true, you know, San Diego style with, single pane glass and not real, like, weather protection or
no.
anything, and so, our house, like, the backside of the house is southeast facing, and so that's the direction that all of the storms come in. And so whenever it rains, I have to run around and put little spun up towels on the windowsills everywhere because if there's any wind at all, it'll all blow into the house and get puddles all along the.
Oh, no.
How about that? Yeah,
That's terrible.
yeah. But there's like no way to fix it because the way that they built the windows is like without
Why
replacing
isn't
those
there a way to fix that?
windows. Yeah,
Come
because
on.
like the windowsill, like the outside part is here, and then the window is here, and so like the rain can come here, and then it just
It
goes
just
down like
drips
this.
down.
Yeah, it just goes down in. It's like it's not right. It should be like the other way, like that, right? Yeah. Anyway, that's how it's exciting. Yep.
Good thing it's a desert and it doesn't rain very much.
Right. Yeah. True.
Like
Yeah.
here, it's like torrential downfall.
I know.
I'm like, we were out of town. I think when we were in Japan, I was getting messages of people showing like a river of water down the main street. And I'm like, was it raining in our house? I didn't see the floor seems okay. I'm worried that the 130-year-old floor is gonna not make it through this or the windows or something. Cause like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the windows are 6 or 7 feet tall. How do you replace that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Custom window.
Yes. Very affordable. Very
Yeah,
affordable.
it's huge.
Yeah. So how'd the OR go today?
I hate going to the OR. That's another thing I don't understand. I'm a surgeon and I'm supposed to love it, but I hate it so bad. And every time I have to go, I'm so salty and grumpy and I feel like the worst possible version of myself. And I'm like, how come all the other surgeons are happy living their life in the OR? And I hate it so much.
So is it actually because I love going to the OR. I love it, you know. But I don't like being inefficient with time in a way that your case takes 30 minutes and then you wait for 60 minutes for them to clean the room and set up for the next case because we all have been in places where they get it done faster, and so you know that it can happen.
Yeah, well, I think that's it. Cause I, in the OR in residency, it was great. But in residency, I'd be there all day. I was at
You're
work
there
for
no
all
matter what.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm there no matter what, and so if it takes long for turnover, oh well, I'm getting caught up on
right.
notes or I'm doing something else or I'm just
Yeah,
there either way. But I think now, most of the time
yes.
I'm going to the OR, it's not because I'm doing an incredibly fun case. It's usually kind of a standard thing that I could have done in the clinic, but they're too sick or there's something going
Mhm,
on. Like today, it was like dental alveolar stuff, but takes forever, and
mhm.
so it's like 8:30, and I'm telling my kids, "I'll be home hopefully hour, hour and a half." So I leave at
Yeah,
8, so I'm on time, and then we didn't even go till 9:50. And it's like, we're at the beginning of the day, why
yeah,
we're so far behind already, and it took me like 20, 25 minutes to do the case, but I get home at 10:30, so 25
yeah.
minutes of actual worth for about
Mhm.
3 hours of my time?
Yeah, yeah. And it sucks as the patient too, right? Because you have to show up NPO, and then you're supposed to your surgery's at 8 or 9. But then it's like, "Oh, you've been bumped," and so you're still hungry at 2 PM. You're like,
Yeah,
"Oh my
exactly.
god." And then they're
Mhm.
like, "Well, we can try and give you some here's this little lemon thing you can chew
Well, and then
on."
a lot of times I'm doing little kids who just can't handle it,
Yeah.
and so it takes literally 5 minutes, and so most time if it's like that, we'll just mask them down, quickly whip out the tooth and wake them up, and so that's pretty fast, but when there's multiple, then we'll intubate, and it's like today they're trying to do nasal, and that wasn't working very well, so then they had to switch oral, and then they had to do it like it took 30 or 40 minutes to intubate this patient for a 5-minute, maybe 10-minute case, and then it takes an hour to turn over. and they have always lost my consent form for some reason, and they always say I didn't do the H&P even though I did. It just feels like it's always and then, "Oh, I'm doing a bone graft, so I have to bring my own grafting stuff over because they don't have it," you know? So it just feels like it was not built for me. I love being in my clinic where I have all the things that I need and people who
Yeah.
know how to do the procedures to help me, and I would have done, like, 6 times as much in half the time.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
people are like, "I can't believe she's married to Doctor Sheffield because she's such a bitch. Because 'Cause I'm always salty. I don't think they really think that. I think most of the time they think I'm nice, but it's just like,
Yeah. That's stressful though to have that like constant comparison because he's in the OR a lot more than you
he's
are.
there all the time.
Yes. And
He's
so, but
there
then
at
you're
least
always
2
going to be
days a
compared
week,
to, yes.
and they're bringing cookies and, it's like they're having parties, and I'm like, "I don't even know who that person is.
Yeah.
I can't recognize anyone."
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I go every like 4 times a year and they're wearing masks and. But it makes me have this identity crisis of like,
Yeah. Cause you feel like an
"You're a
outsider.
surgeon and you hate the OR. What's
Yeah.
wrong with you?" And then I was sitting in the doctor's lounge, just kind of feeling out of place, and there's these people in there, and it just felt so like residency. They were, like, talking like dude locker room chat, like borderline enough for me, like, "I'm here."
Yeah.
Like, they didn't quite go inappropriate, but it was just making me feel kinda like, "Oh, this is very reminiscent of the good old days."
Yeah. Like, does anybody have
Uh.
a tampon? Does anybody have a
Right, yeah,
tampon?
what can we do? They were talking about, like, dating younger women and women in Brazil being prettier than the women in Colombia or vice versa. I can't remember. It was enthralling, really. And then
It's
I
like
was finally
cringy.
filling out at least, like, we got on Epic and, like, yay, okay, even though I haven't done. Somehow I tested out of the training, which I thought was amazing. Oh my gosh, I tested out of the training. I don't have to go sit through hours. But then when it came time, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't have any order sets in or anything. What do I do? So at least I made it through that. And then since I was waiting, the lady who's going to help me came and wasn't all that helpful either. She didn't know how to do some of the stuff. And then I'm filling
You're
out
a
my
what?
op note.
Oh, you're a oral. Ooh, yeah, I don't know that stuff. Sorry,
Yeah.
I can't help you. You're gonna have to figure it out on your own.
Right,
Like,
I know.
again?
I'm filling out my op note and it's wanting me to put in fluids, and I'm like, I've never been asked as a surgeon how much fluids the case got. I know, thank you. And there
No,
are like
no.
6
I've
anesthesia
always had to do
people
that.
in there. You always have? No one's ever asked me. So they're like, I'm like, "Why do I have to fill this out? How do I know this?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's dumb. Just write, see the record," or something.
Wait, were they asking for IV fluids or irrigation? Like,
No, they wanna know how much IV fluid the patient got during the
but
anesthesia,
don't
and
you
I was
always
like,
put that in your note?
when I'm doing the anesthesia in my own clinic, I do because 'cause I'm the one administering it, but I don't know how much the anesthesiologist
I
gave.
always ask. Yeah,
Well,
like you
I've
say,
never
like
been asked that
fluids, blood
before.
loss. How
In,
funny.
like, the 4 different
There you
hospitals
go.
I've worked in, I've never had anyone
Wow.
ever ask that. So I was
I
like, "I
wonder if
don't
I've
know."
always just done it because you were trying to do like, decrease your fluids, for orthodontic cases and stuff. And so you always
Right.
want to know like what it is so that that's documented in your own stuff so that later on you're like, oh, yeah, they gave you a lot. That's probably why you're.
I don't know, maybe I've been doing it wrong all of these years, but that's the first time anyone's ever asked me.
That's so
And I
funny.
was like, "How do I know? How would I know that? Where do I
Yeah.
find that? Why do I have to put that in there?" It was like a 20-minute case. She got like 200 probably. Another thing I don't understand, I made it this long as a surgeon. Evidently, I've been doing it so wrong.
Do you know what I learned? I learned that a lot of OBs sew with like a hand by hand. They don't use a needle driver.
With their hand? What do you mean?
Like
How?
like
Like
a
with their
like
fingers?
yeah, like I'm sewing like a quilt. Like yeah,
Do they have a giant needle?
yeah. Isn't that funny? I never knew that. That's like common, I think.
I feel like I would get poked, and my needles are too small,
Yeah. Well,
and
yeah.
the tissue is too hard.
And yeah, or too friable or too delicate, whatever it is. And you're like working in deep dark spaces that like,
I know
yeah.
today I was struggling This guy had dementia, and the wife is like, "Will you please stitch him so he doesn't bleed?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll make sure. I'll pack some gel foam and put some stitches in just to kinda help," but, he didn't need stitches, and I'm trying, and his mouth wasn't opening very wide, and there's just blood everywhere, and just trying to get
Yeah.
through to the lingual to pull it through, and it's the most friable tissue, and I was saying, "I promise I know how to suture. It does
I
not
hate
look
when
or
I
feel like I
hate when that
do."
happens. Yeah.
But I am just really struggling, and at one point, I was trying to just get the one good area of tissue that I could, and I was like, "I can't even turn this corner, like, I'm hitting on bone, and I can't get the angle."
Yeah.
He doesn't need one there, so I'm gonna skip it. He's might bleed a little more, but it's so aggravating. I remember the first
Yeah.
time I saw one of those suture practice kits that they make, and
Mhm.
it had a cup, and you, like, suture inside a cup, and I was like, "What's that for? Why would you suture in a cup?" And someone said, "Yeah, it's for when you're working, like, in a deep, dark cavity," and I was like, "What? Oh, that's weird." That's, like, the only way I've ever sutured,
Yeah.
like, in dental school. That's the
Yeah, you're
only
like,
time you got to
"Is there another
suture.
is there another place to suture?"
Is there another is there a bowl that everyone else is suturing in?
Right.
I
Yeah.
remember and the ENT residents would be like, "You guys are so good at suturing in the mouth. How are you so good?" And that was a aha moment, like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it is kinda weird." And there's tongues and saliva and
Yeah. Yeah. How funny.
did you see that video I made about the tongues
I don't think so.
this week?
No.
My my kids are excited, they've been helping me make videos, and it has let's see how many. It's taken off, it has, like, 600 and something thousand views on it, and 655,000 views, and it
Wow.
just says, "The creepiest thing you can do to your dentist is lick
Yes,
their
I've seen
finger."
this.
Did you see that?
Yes, I did see it.
And I didn't think it would take off like that, but then I get people in there arguing. One lady's like, "You shouldn't have gone into the profession if you can't handle a little tongue." And I was like, "Ma'am, that's not what this is about,"
Yeah.
like, of course, your tongue I'm gonna get touched by tongues, but when
Mhm.
someone purposely licks your
Yeah.
finger
Yeah.
someone did that to me a few months ago, and that was the creepiest. They just kept licking my finger, and
My kid does that all the time when I'm trying to brush his teeth, and I'm like, "You've got to stop. You've got
oh
to
my
stop."
gosh. And then there are people making inappropriate comments, and I'm like, "You guys are
Of course.
gross." Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to get away from that from with what we do, so I don't know. I don't know. Back when I was really snarky and I was on the boat, I was trying to design these little things to put on my stateroom door, and one of them was like oral specialist. Anyway,
Dr.
I thought that
Walpack
was funny.
had a video this week talking about oral surgery and how you abbreviate it.
Yeah.
Did you see that one? And he
Yes.
said one of them was oral SX,
Yeah.
and he says, "People are always really disappointed when they come back from there." It was so bad.
Sorry about your luck. It's not
Yeah,
all
listen,
sunshine and rainbows and, you know,
people don't like coming to see us for some reason.
it's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
I
Why
also don't
can't you
understand Go ahead.
Oh, no, your turn.
I'm just gonna say I also don't understand how my body hurts so much.
That's because 'cause you're in your 40s.
I
Everything
know.
hurts.
I literally was lying in bed once and I moved an inch and I pulled a muscle. And I am not joking or exaggerating this time. I tend to exaggerate a little, but it was like, "Oh my gosh, how did I do that?"
Yep. Welcome.
Yep,
Here we are.
here we are.
Well, I think I've got some company now. They have arrived.
Great. Should we end this then?
Let's call it. All right. Well, thank you again for joining us on another episode of the Resting Stitch Face podcast. We'll see you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.